Thursday, almost the weekend, and we're very delighted to be here. Thank you for joining us on Breakfast Central. A bright, beautiful morning, and we hope that your morning's already off to a good start. I am Olive Emodi.
And I'm Gbenga. It's good to be here on Breakfast Central, the best place to start your day, where we bring you insightful conversations, fantastic analysis, everything you need to know about the news cycle. We bring the top analysts and also the front page of the newspaper. There's more I could say, but I mean, if you're just watching us for the first time, just watch and experience it yourself. Don't let me let the cat or the rat out of the bag.
I was expecting that you would add that your last line that you usually say.
What is it?
It starts with "you will," you know.
You will love it.
Now I'm mature. Can't you see what I'm wearing?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, sir. Welcome to Breakfast Central. Like Olive said, it's Thursday. Like Gbenga said, it's going to be a bumper-packed 3 hours of non-stop conversation surrounding news and current affairs. Plus, we also delve into the societal stories, just like we're about to do with Wake Up Conversations. And we're telling you to join us. Give us 3 hours of your time. And you can decide to do it for 24 hours, by the way, because News Central is that addictive.
Yeah.
Once you start watching, you'll be shocked at the variety of programmings that we have, you know, that will keep you glued to your TV set. But while you're doing that, increase the volume. If you need to quickly fix a cup of tea or coffee, take care of the children, for those who have kids at home during this holiday period, sweep the living room or something, just keep listening to us. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
pretty much.
so.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Today is one of those days I'm excited. It's almost the weekend. I'm excited. It's almost the weekend.
I know that song. That's part of ranking.
Yeah, that one is already the weekend.
Okay.
This one is
Almost weekend.
Oliver
Okay, that's your
Emodi.
Why are you rushing though?
Yes,
Aren't you
because-
happy to discuss with our?
I'm happy to discuss.
I always
You
feel like I don't know. I know you feel the same way. But I always feel sad.
Yeah,
whenever it's
like
Friday.
when Joe mentioned you'll be here for 3 hours. I kind of had like a heartache. If management is watching, please make Breakfast Central 9 hours straight, no break, because we love you guys. Okay. I see you are not sharing the same passion as
I'm not
me and
sharing
Joe.
the same passion with you, please.
Oh my goodness.
Let's not lie to ourselves.
Let's
I'm
speak
not
for
sharing.
ourselves and
Speak for
mention our
yourself.
Sunday.
Exactly. Mention your
Let's make it
name.
9 hours straight. I bet you will be the only one presenting.
Only you will present, only you will produce. Okay.
So you guys are lazy.
No.
Wow, you are not that passionate.
Do you remember the statement,
please
lazy
continue.
Nigerian youths?
This segment, I'm going to cut it and give HR.
Okay.
So that they will know who is who deserve wages or emolument.
Well, hopefully HR will use that too. Just like RMAFC have decided to review the salary of the president, HR can use that to review your salary.
Absolutely.
No wahala.
You guys will just note, are we not the same uncle? I'll just
Gbenga.
pull up in a Bentley.
Gbenga, can we start show?
I'm just imagining the benefit I will get from this thing I just did. That this guy, HR will say, this guy sabi work.
Okay.
He wants 9 hours show.
Okay, congratulations to you and to HR. Let's start with the conversations this morning. We're starting off with an unfortunate story. Unfortunate because it's a story that involves one of Nigeria's most talented young men. He was celebrated while alive, but it feels like the celebration doubled and tripled after his passing. And, you know, they would typically say rest in peace, but ever since Mohbad died, he hasn't quite rested in peace because he's been the subject of arguments as to what led to the death of Mohbad. Many people suspected foul play, and many fingers have been pointed at different persons from Naira Marley and the Malian team, including Sam Larry. And then they've also made accusations pointing fingers at his wife. It's just been a lot of arguments. His father has overnight become a celebrity as well as a result of this saga. A very dark man, Iyabo Ojo, have been in conflict back and forth as to what exactly happened. All the while, Naira Marley never really gave a detailed explanation of his own side of the story. But now he has done that and posted on YouTube on the Malian music page. And here's what his own account is on Mohbad's demise.
So I came back to Nigeria to support the police with the investigation because I can see fingers pointing our ways. I can see that they paid the block. So I want to come back so they can actually know that I have nothing to do with it and chase whoever so he can get justice. So I came back to Nigeria. I was in quarantine for 2 months. 2 months. After I even got out of Panti, I was fighting for my passport. They held my passport for how long? I showed them everything. There was no, like, this is a working country. Okay, it's okay, you can question me, but there's no reason to detain me for 2 months. 2 months for what? No reason. I was not in the country. I haven't seen him for over a year. There's not even nothing to ask him. There's nothing. I showed you everything. I was in Panti for 2 months, but it's okay. There's nothing, bro. I understand. I get it. There's people behind the scene. As you can see, the group chat got leaked. The officer that was in charge of the case in Panti, Mr. Ilara, they mentioned his name to call him. They're talking about George. So they did this is Africa, they did their homework to keep me there for 2 months. I was in Panti for 2 months. Even people pointing fingers at me, that don't mean I should be in Panti for 2 months. So he left.
So on the 29th of March, I am on the flight, 2022. Next day after, he was chilling with Zeno. I am on the flight coming back to Nigeria. As soon as I got back, me and Mohbad met up.
Don't worry now. Don't worry.
Fortunately, we can't play the video because it's on his Malan music page on YouTube. If you want to watch it, it's a 1 hour, 48-minute long video, so we can't play all of it. But there's so many things, key highlights. I mean, when I watched the video, there are a few things that, I was able to draw from the video. First of all would be he denies bullying. He denies bullying or involvement in Mohbad's death. He says, of course, I didn't bully him. If you remember in the video, he says, I didn't bully him and I didn't kill him. There have been reactions to that, people who believe that that's a lie. There are others who say, you know what, we're proud of you for collating all the information that you had regarding this and sharing your own side of the story. He, of course, talked about Mohbad using, an illicit substance, talked about how he called him and advised him that he said he got into it because of stress. He then talked about financial transparency. He says Mohbad picked his own manager in July 2020, and Mohbad pushed back on a 25% commission, insisting on a 10% share. He showcased WhatsApp messages disproving claims that Mohbad was afraid to go to the hospital and affirmed that they shared profits 50-50 after Marley covered all expenses. Now, talking about the NDLEA raid and Mohbad's mental health state, that was another key issue that, this brought up. He says he recounts the incident during the February 24, 2022 raid. He said, NDLEA's raid, he said that Mohbad was arrested allegedly because of a physical altercation with officers and live streamed under duress, where he made emotionally charged accusations like, if I die, everybody, Naira music, Naira Marley kill me. And following this incident, that Mohbad, his parents and girlfriend apologized according to Naira Marley. Then he talked about the suicide attempt and compassion. On March 27, 2022, Mohbad attempted suicide, he said, and if you remember in the clip, he said he was in Puerto Rico at the time, that upon his return, he spoke with Mohbad's parents about the singer's mental state. He took concern about Mohbad's online searches for Sniper, asking, why will you be searching online for Sniper, suggesting that they needed his removal from, the label's immediate environment. Then he talked about the financial dispute, said in December 2022, that Mohbad withdrew $72,000 from a digital service provider partner, funds that Marley claims were not solely his. As a result, royalties were withheld until the repayment occurred, after which Mohbad became unreachable. And his final contact, Marley says that their last meeting was October 4, 2022, during a fight between Mohbad and his manager. And at the time of Mohbad's death, that was September 12, 2023, Marley was in Amsterdam spending time with his children. And he said he expected authorities to detain those closest to Mohbad who were present before his demise. And Naira Marley concluded by saying he criticized the police for detaining him for 2 months in Yaba, Lagos, upon his return to clear his name. He also stated that Malian Music reached out to Mohbad's lawyer to ensure his royalties would go to whoever the family or court designates. And if you remember, he also said something in the line of, if they leave him, he would say that the police should rearrest everybody and they should give the case to an officer that they can trust, an investigating officer that they can trust, so that, a proper investigation, a proper investigation can be done in the matter.
Well, one might wonder why we've decided to look at this story here on Wake Up Conversations, and we think it's very key we do. And the reasons are best known. Olive, you've highlighted them in doing a recap of what really happened in that video. Prior to Aziz Fashola, also known as Naira Marley, shooting that documentary, that long documentary, explaining and detailing the accounts of what happened. We know there was cancel culture, where a lot of persons, a cross-section of Nigerians had already cancelled him, his music,
Media trial.
of course, and then yes,
Sam Larry,
exactly.
members of the Malian team who
and then
stood by
there's this media trial, like Gbenga had said, where everybody had said, okay, fine. It seems like majority of Nigerians possibly just accepted to the media trial because of the videos they had seen online, which categorically showed where, of course, the late artist under his record label was being bullied. So adding 1 and 2 together, especially with that video where he had said, if anything happens to me, please hold this record label accountable. And that's the video where he was trying to shoot. He was shooting a musical video, and then he was being bullied and attacked as well by one Samson Balogu, better known as Sam Larry. But why is this very necessary? Well, it's also good that this is documented. That's what he's done. He's documented his own side of the story. He's explained what really took place. And like Olive also rounded it up in the entire conversation, he said he would like for the case to be retried once.
Fortunately, we can't play the video because it's on his Malian music page on YouTube. If you want to watch it, it's a 1 hour, 48-minute long video, so we can't play all of it. But there's so many things, key highlights. I mean, when I watched the video, there are a few things that, I was able to draw from the video. First of all would be he denies bullying. He denies bullying or involvement in Mohbad's death. He says, of course, I didn't bully him. If you remember in the video, he says, I didn't bully him and I didn't kill him. There have been reactions to that, people who believe that that's a lie. There are others who say, you know what, we're proud of you for collating all the information that you had regarding this and sharing your own side of the story. He, of course, talked about Mohbad using, an illicit substance, talked about how he called him and advised him that he said he got into it because of stress. He then talked about financial transparency. He says Mohbad picked his own manager in July 2020, and Mohbad pushed back on a 25% commission, insisting on a 10% share. He showcased WhatsApp messages disproving claims that Mohbad was afraid to go to the hospital and affirmed that they shared profits 50-50 after Marley covered all expenses. Now, talking about the NDLEA raid and Mohbad's mental health state, that was another key issue that, this brought up. He says he recounts the incident during the February 24, 2022 raid. He said, NDLEA's raid, he said that Mohbad was arrested allegedly because of a physical altercation with officers and live streamed under duress, where he made emotionally charged accusations like, if I die, everybody, Naira music, Naira Marley kill me. And following this incident, that Mohbad, his parents and girlfriend apologized according to Naira Marley. Then he talked about the suicide attempt and compassion. On March 27, 2022, Mohbad attempted suicide, he said, and if you remember in the clip, he said he was in Puerto Rico at the time, that upon his return, he spoke with Mohbad's parents about the singer's mental state. He took concern about Mohbad's online searches for Sniper, asking, why will you be searching online for Sniper, suggesting that they needed his removal from, the label's immediate environment. Then he talked about the financial dispute, said in December 2022, that Mohbad withdrew $72,000 from a digital service provider partner, funds that Marley claims were not solely his. As a result, royalties were withheld until the repayment occurred, after which Mohbad became unreachable. And his final contact, Marley says that their last meeting was October 4, 2022, during a fight between Mohbad and his manager. And at the time of Mohbad's death, that was September 12, 2023, Marley was in Amsterdam spending time with his children. And he said he expected authorities to detain those closest to Mohbad who were present before his demise. And Naira Marley concluded by saying he criticized the police for detaining him for 2 months in Yaba, Lagos, upon his return to clear his name. He also stated that Malian Music reached out to Mohbad's lawyer to ensure his royalties would go to whoever the family or court designates. And if you remember, he also said something in the line of, if they leave him, he would say that the police should rearrest everybody and they should give the case to an officer that they can trust, an investigating officer that they can trust, so that, a proper investigation, a proper investigation can be done in the matter.
Well, one might wonder why we've decided to look at this story here on Wake Up Conversations, and we think it's very key we do. And the reasons are best known. Olive, you've highlighted them in doing a recap of what really happened in that video. Prior to Aziz Fashola, also known as Naira Marley, shooting that documentary, that long documentary explaining and detailing the accounts of what happened. We know there was cancel culture, where a lot of persons, a cross-section of Nigerians had already cancelled him, his music,
media trial,
of course, and then yes,
Sam Larry,
exactly.
members of the Malian team,
and then there's this media trial, like Gbenga had said, where everybody had said, okay, fine. It seems like majority of Nigerians possibly just accepted to the media trial because of the videos they had seen online, which categorically showed where, of course, the late artist under his record label was being bullied. So adding 1 and 2 together, especially with that video where he had said, if anything happens to me, please hold this record label accountable. And that's the video where he was trying to shoot. He was shooting the musical video, and then he was being bullied and attacked as well by one Samson Balogu, better known as Sam Larry. But why is this very necessary? Well, it's also good that this is documented. That's what he's done. He's documented his own side of the story. He's explained what really took place. And like Olive also rounded it up in the entire conversation, he said he would like for the case to be retried once again. Don't forget that Mohbad's father has been hopping from one court case to the other, still trying to seek answers and find who
I
really...
wonder if Mohbad has even been buried. I don't think so.
I think he has.
He was buried, and then still
they had to exhume his
that they have to exhume his corpse for autopsy. That it was too quick.
I'm not sure if he's been reburied.
It's a whole lot. The drama is a whole lot. However, from another perspective, the points are: why did he wait this long to speak? That he ought to have spoken immediately he came out of prison.
I don't agree.
So that he would be able to...
I mean, it was in detention for
I don't
2
agree
months,
that he
Yes,
would have
as soon as he
spoken.
came out.
And I just checked on YouTube as well.
Gathering documents and all of that.
On YouTube as well, I've seen that someone else shared that same sentiment. Mokuye Chukwuemeka on YouTube says, story for the gods, after how many years? Elizabeth Jones says, Mohbad's parents are the reason why they couldn't get justice for him. And Elizabeth Jones goes further to say, broken home really cost it. Father and mother are not in one accord. I think that he could have shared his story. I don't think that it's too late for him to share his own side of the story. Reason because it's a very sensitive matter. He had already gotten cancelled by the public. If he was to come out, it was important
Nobody
for
would
him.
even listen to him.
Exactly, nobody would have listened to him. Like, this happened in 2023. Between then and now, how much have you heard about Zinoleski? Nigerians are usually one-way traffic. When they decide to cancel you, they cancel you until something happens. Then they change their mind and they turn the other way. So I think it was important for him to collate all the evidence and put together his story, right, in a way that I'm sure he would have also gotten counsel from his lawyers as to what he should and should not share.
Right.
So I don't think that it's the same way that if we say that why is he speaking now, that's the same way we would then justify those who maybe were sexually assaulted years before and couldn't speak at the time, but then later decided to speak. So long as the crime is not statute barred, you can speak about it and share your own side of the story. But anyway, let's move on.
Let's see some reactions, by the way. Let's see what Nigerians are saying on social media reacting to this. Foundational Amoda says, Amoda Ogunlere says, I just watched a Naira Marley video on his side of the story. Obviously, from evidence he presented, he had nothing to do with Mohbad's death. I would have loved if he released the results of the test carried out to Mohbad since he paid for it while he was acting paranoid and suicidal. I think drug abuse, either influenced by Naira Marley or not, played a huge part in his paranoia. I think Marley should have gone a little bit further to help Mohbad by flying him out when he was displaying obvious signs of depression and being suicidal. All he did after was trying to clear his name, which I perfectly understand because I would have done the same. Now that Naira Marley has told his own side, people like Zlatan, Bella Shmurda, who have more info and accused Naira, should come out with their own facts to counter Naira Marley. If they don't or can't, then it means all Naira Marley said is true and it was all a setup. And then you wonder, setup for what? Well, High T, that's Real High T, says, most of the people under this comment section didn't watch the video, as usual. Number one, Zina and Mohbad were not friends. Most Nigerians don't like reading. They don't like spending time. No time. One, Zina and Mohbad were not friends. Two, Mohbad was changing number like water. Three, Mohbad dropped the female account details 3 times until his boss decided to stop sending money to that account. That's a highlight. And then 4, Mohbad was not in his right state of mind. 5, someone was controlling Mohbad behind the scenes, maybe his wife, because his manager said it. 6, Naira Marley took the allegations against him after the NDLEA case less important. And 7, Mohbad needed help, but he didn't get it till he died. I'm going to highlight 7, very key. Anyone who's going through a state of depression needs all the help they can get. Gbenga, I want to take the next.
Yes, Oluwatobi says Naira Marley went on YouTube to talk about how he's not guilty of the accusations leveled against him surrounding Mohbad's death. His editor even added emotional song to it. My question is, if you didn't kill him, did you bully him or not? Or does that exonerate you?
Said the editor added
emotional song. Flute.
Summary of the video, Abba says, Naira is forward-thinking and tried to keep as much record as possible about the interactions post-Mo, saying he should be held responsible for anything that happens to him. 2, he was good to Mo as per the interactions shared. 3, Naira, no, they charge phone. Is it charge or change he meant?
Charge, because if you could see the bar
was always running out.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe he's on band E.
Oh.
Nigerians.
No, that one is about people that live abroad because they always have power, so they don't usually feel the pressure.
They don't need power back.
So they don't.
But it's a sad case because whether we like it or not, if we go back in time, the person, the artist, the talents, the star that was lost to death cannot be brought back to life.
No,
so
that's a sad reality.
Himself.
Yeah.
And you know what's
fight
painful
for
about
themselves.
this? What hurts me about this is that people have then used the Mohbad demise to launch brands. People have become famous for it. It feels like every Eke market day when people feel like, a number of people just feel like, we need to talk about something.
You know, desecrated his memory, like what VDM did. I don't support that. Like, I mean, let this man rest in peace. What was the use of all the interviews you did with people that are close to him? And, you know, it's just...
I mean, the argument may be that
messy.
if there was a hand involved in his death, then it's important that is fished out.
But again, Nigerian police, thorough investigations. How do you not detain or question? I'm sure they did, but was it thorough enough?
Yes.
The people in the immediate vicinity.
And why did
when
they hurry
passed
to bury
the
him?
last 48 hours, yes.
And then they said
of his life.
it's a whole lot. And then don't forget to the nurse, the auxiliary nurse, who was equally in the entire picture.
You know.
Yes, talk about and also Gbenga as well was in the picture as well, if I remember. Yeah, that's a surname. And the issue of her administering an injection that she shouldn't have. So it's a back and forth. I think it's a clustered case. And now he's giving his own side of the story. I like what the other tweet, the other one we read. He's giving his side of the story. Let's wait for the others too. Maybe they will shoot their own.
Who are the others?
Okay,
the main person here now is Mohbad.
Zlatan witnessed what had taken place. Everyone that was there. But like we said, we're bringing this on Wake Up Conversation because it's important that when someone who had a very strong impact on the lives of the Nigerian music industry and Nigerians as it were, and don't forget this was a very, very big story in terms of the fact that the Lagos State, Corona and all that, they had to jump in to ensure that they ascertained what could have been the cause of death. And even every single person, be it whether you are a politician, whether you are a celebrity or so on, was in one way or the other affected by this story, and this also would open another can of worms. We hope that would find a way.
Let's also use this as a lesson to raise awareness for mental health, because there are lots of people that appear to be all right, but they're dealing with one sort of demon or the other. So pay close signs to people that exhibit suicidal tendencies and, you know, irregular behavior, and try to seek help.
Yeah, I think what's important as a society is when you have... I'm glad that we're waking up to conversations about mental health, because prior to now, and even still now, when you talk about mental health, some of the barriers that stop people from getting help will be culture and religion. People will believe, I'm a child of God, I cannot have depression in Jesus' name. Amen, I agree with you, you're a child of God. But, you know, God has also given wisdom to the therapists and the doctors. So the same way when you have malaria in your body, you go do tests and get checked and they give you treatment. Your brain also has a doctor. The doctor is called a therapist or a psychiatrist or psychologist, depending on what the situation is.
Or a neurosurgeon.
You know, exactly. So I think that it's important as a society that we encourage people to speak openly about mental health. So we start to destigmatize it and people don't feel so isolated and feel so alone. especially public figures. Public figures, they have to bear the brunt of social media assessment, criticism. A number of them have to deal with just being in the spotlight. The scrutiny that being with the spotlight brings is something that it's very difficult to manage sometimes. And then, yes, a number of them get into bad company and pick up habits. Some of these habits are picked up because their lives are like a very...
As coping mechanism.
Exactly, it's a coping mechanism because they're incredibly busy, they're on the move, they're not resting. So they pick up these habits, you know, and I hope that we can be more open to offering support to people with mental health. But more importantly, I hope that, you know, Mohbad can get justice, whatever justice will mean in this case. Like I always say, when a life has been lost, there really can never be true justice, because justice that cannot bring back the dead, is that really justice? But that if there be any person or persons that were involved in his death, we do hope that that investigation is carried out and, you know, that they be brought to book.
All right, let's move on as we leave that story and go to another story that everyone seems to be talking about, an empty booth. Reminds me of an empty space.
An empty house.
They say that's what
It reminds me of...
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that.
And Westlife.
No, I'm not a fan.
Really, why?
Nah.
You didn't used to like Love.
I always had. So I'm more of a fan of...
Backstreet Boys.
I'm not racist, please. Let me state clearly. I was more a fan of R&B, Boys to Men, Style Plus, and all that. But I think I got a bit tired with every street you go to, everybody was, you know.
It's giving nothing way Musano go see for empty streets.
One thing I'll never see for...
Anyway, let me tell the story very quickly. The Tokyo International Conference for African Development is actually holding. It's going to be, I think, a 3-day or how many days. It kicked off. And a young Nigerian who is so passionate decided to go to where exhibitions were holding, booths were displayed, and he decided to bring to the notice of not just Nigerians in the diaspora and Nigerians as a whole, you and I. He also tried to ensure that the federal government is aware that they do have an empty booth out of all that we had there. I don't know if we have the video to show concerning how, or the pictures as well, where he also displayed it and made it clear. Anyway,
this is the tweet by Idris Bello. He says, I hate to show negative things about Nigeria, but it's sad that Nigeria is the only unmanned booth at TICAD 9 in Japan. Upon all the folks who probably got ESTA code from coming to Japan, only God knows how many Japanese folks have asked me about the unmanned booths, seeing my dressing. So ashamed, I have now designated myself as honorary consul and taken over the booth to engage visitors.
He says, I have now answered questions ranging from solid minerals to housing to landmines to manufacturing to automobiles. No time to even ask ChatGPT. Thanks for residual knowledge from investing. And then he shows the picture of the empty booth. But let's take a look at this video.
The country stand where you have all the African countries at TICAD 9. You can see different countries, Cameroon showcasing itself. You can see Cameroon showcasing itself. You can see Togo, you can see Senegal. I've been going around, right? So Senegal, Sierra Leone, Republic. You can see all the books are, you know. You can see Sierra Leone, and then you come to Guinea, and then you come to the giant of Africa. And there's 0 people there, 0. Not 1, 0. Of all the people that left Nigeria on your plate, not a single person is manning his stand on the biggest country on the continent. Every other country is represented and how people manage their stand. Then here comes our own Nigerian stuff, and there's nobody. Everybody just stop coming here asking, not a single person managing the stand. Very, very disappointing as usual. Very, very disappointing.
Lots of reactions. There were many Nigerians that said, you know, maybe the delegation have gone to Shibuya district for shopping, or they've gone to some parts of Tokyo for restaurant. And these things happen when they go for these conferences. But there were 2 reactions.
Yes.
One from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and another one from the presidency. And they seem to contradict each other.
The opposition also reacted to this.
So you want to... Let's
start with one of them.
Let me start with the opposition. Okay. Peter Obi has called it a diplomatic embarrassment. He said he's of course criticized this. Another person that criticized was Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar said it's a show of shame suggesting even the launching of Renewed Hope might be delayed with the booth's inauguration. And ADC's Bolaji Abdullahi has also criticized this, noting that despite a large entourage in Japan, nobody was there to man the booth. Now let's go to those who spoke in support. Gbenga?
Well, yes, and I mean, still talking about the reactions, the foreign ministry first said, you know, TICAD officially kicks off today. So those people that were
By today,
there,
we mean yesterday?
No, Thursday. Today.
Okay, today 21st.
Today,
they said the book's not officially open until the 21st.
So those ones were doing over syllables. They now them sabi go there first. So that was the first reaction. Then the presidency, yes.
Bayo Onanuga.
I mean,
he says that Nigeria's focus was obviously strategic
and not exhibition.
Excuse me, strategic engagement and not exhibit at a trade fair. And in support of that, Bayo, what's his name? Ortega. Also, you know, further emphasized that we're not there for a photo op.
It's not photo
So
op.
is it that
it's telling your stories.
Is it that we're not there for
what
eye
happened
service?
to the Nigerian High Commission in Tokyo? You could send members of the staff. You have promotional materials of the country. It's not nothing deep. Visit Nigeria. There are tourism leaflets you could give out. You could say one or two things about the country. It shouldn't be left empty. And when we fall short of standards, we should be
ready to take accountability.
We should be ready to take accountability. Hold our hands up high and say, look, we messed up here. Next time we'll do better. Because I don't understand. It's like you're digging yourself more and more into the pit. I don't understand all this presidential rigmarole.
Well,
do you understand the rigmarole?
Today I'm going to fight for the presidency.
Okay.
Yes, I'll fight for them today. Anyway, so two things that could either have happened. The first is, while they were going for the event, of course they were invited and they were going for the event. The president was there, the Honorable Minister of Power is there, you also have the Minister of Foreign Affairs is there, you also have another Honorable Minister. You do have a good number of entourage. You have an entourage that's gone there. There must have been someone who maybe did not really see the information that while you are coming, a booth has been provided for you.
Why do you have an embassy in Tokyo?
Hold on, I'm coming now. That there's a booth that has been provided for you, that you are to man that booth and showcase some of your cultural displays. Remember that it's also a place for diplomacy, and you know, it's a B2B where business to business can actually meet and interact because you have other countries there. So that information, one, could have been missed, or this
is the 9th edition. It's not the first time Nigeria is attending TICAD.
It could also be, I'm just trying to look at possibility.
I'm just trying to give you
I get your point, and I like it. And two, there could also be that while that booth was offered, like the response from some of the SSAs, that they said, in other words, just to reduce the long story, the booth is not really our concern. Our concern is the business. That's what we went there for. So it shows what the priority is. And the priority for Nigerians should be that they went there for proper
you can
business.
do two things. You can do your
booth was not
investment drive, and you could also man the booth and not leave it empty.
I think the goal...
But they said they'll man it today. Today they said they'll man it. Somebody will be there today and tomorrow.
Of course they will man it. So it's the thing is, what Nigerians are saying is we should never be unprepared. And any opportunity to showcase our nation in a positive light publicly, you know, we should jump on it.
You should make hay while the sun shines.
Let's take the reactions on social media to this story and the criticism of the unmanned booth. Oluwaseun DSP says, well done, bros. Just imagine those that were sponsored with taxpayers' money to represent Nigeria. Did they show up at their duty post? This is the exact thing they do back at home. They behave anyhow because they know whether they work or not, they will get paid. Many Nigerians lack the right attitude to work. Many want to get paid without justifying their pay with commensurate work. I hope those who are sponsored with taxpayers' money to represent us but refuse to show up are made to pay for it. The next tweet says, I'm curious, what were their inquiries? How did you attend to their needs? Was it co-heads of states attending the summit that made inquiries?
No.
How were you able to meet their needs? I also noticed some other African booths were empty, except for those selling flags, statues, and the likes. Would you have preferred Nigeria did the same? Thanks for your anticipated response, Honorary Consul. Ogabayo, this response feels more like damage control. This is in response to Bayo Onanuga. It feels more like damage control than clarity. While it is fine for Nigeria to prioritize high-level bilateral engagement over
Exactly.
optics, dismissing concerns about the empty booth as ignorance is unnecessary and arrogant. Optics also matter in diplomacy. Visibility complements strategy. If Nigeria came only for boardroom talks, the government should have communicated that earlier rather than reacting defensively after criticism. In truth, Nigerians are simply tired of opacity. They want to see representation, not just be told, trust us. A credible government balances quiet negotiations with transparent public visibility. And this is a very brilliant analysis.
Fantastic tweet
by
from
Ike.
Ike. I endorse it 100%.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, so that's the summary of it. But away from that, just to mention that the president did speak and he focused on a number of things. He talked about UN Security Council reform. He spoke about market collaboration as opposed to aid dependency, and talked about using technology as a tool for peace. And he also applauded our security, our armed forces, talking about the work that they've done. That yes, we're still battling insecurity, but they've done great work. So kudos to the president. Great points there that he's highlighted.
And I hope by ticket 10, if there's no one to man the boot, please, I'm available as a patriotic Nigeria. I can man the boot because I love Japanese sushi from Shibuya district. And from there, I could take a train to Yokohama, Nagoya, visit other places.
Gbenga is okay.
It's a beautiful country.
Gbenga is okay. Don't worry.